afternoon, everyone. This is Nitha Ramachandra from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 924, sorry. We're joined by a really special guest. Her name is Emma Entzminger. She's a talented softball player from Canada. She was born in British Columbia. Man, she does it all. She's a great hitter, great talented infielder. They participated in this year's Olympics, Tokyo Olympics. Not only this year's Olympics, she also competed in the 2019 Olympics. I found an interesting story about her. She used to play, you started baseball around age 5 and with the boys too. So we're going to get to all of that. And obviously her Olympics experience and what she's doing now, trying to get ready. But first of all, Emma, I just want to say thank you for joining the show. Truly an honor. How are you and your family doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to start off with your childhood, growing up in British Columbia. So what was it like growing up over there as a child? And obviously, like I said earlier, you started playing baseball with boys. And what was that like growing up? And when did you get interested in playing sports?
Yeah, I mean, at a pretty young age, I was fortunate that my parents kind of allowed me to play whatever sport I wanted to. So really growing up, played anything I possibly could, hockey, baseball, soccer, volleyball, basketball, kind of just whatever I could fit into my schedule, I did. And I started playing baseball with the boys when I was 5. Did that until about 12 or 13. Then I kind of had to figure out if I wanted to pursue softball, just because I knew I was a little bit limited with what my opportunities would be with baseball. So I ended up switching over to softball at about 13 and played with the girls with that, kind of just lower level softball, b-ball. And then I kind of picked up more into like high level travel ball teams into high school. And yeah, that's when a lot of opportunities opened up. So baseball and softball. I was kind of torn between soccer and softball for a long time. Just those were my top 2. But then I kind of had to decide what one I wanted to pursue, and softball was the one I chose.
Yeah. So before we go any further, everyone please tune in. Episode 924 is now live on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. So everyone please tune in. But right now, I want to ask you, did you have any like role models, important role models that you looked up to throughout your life?
Yeah, just watching the Olympics from home, I think hockey's big for us, women's hockey. Cassie Campbell played for the women's Canadian hockey team. And I remember just growing up kind of watching the Olympics on TV and that being kind of a goal for me. I knew I wanted to play for Canada and represent my country. At the time, I didn't really know what sport that was going to be, but definitely just growing up, having a female role model, strong female role model. Christine Sinclair on the soccer side of things, extremely talented, just how she carries herself as a athlete, but also as a person. I think the qualities of her, for sure, just inspiring and something that I was trying to achieve.
Yeah. So what was the experience like at age 5 and playing baseball? Obviously different from softball, but what was the experience like getting the baseball knowledge?
Yeah, I think honestly, playing baseball at a young age was probably like a really big positive in my abilities as an athlete. I think on the baseball side of the sport, they're just very fine-tuned with the skills. And I think not that I wouldn't have learned those skills throughout softball, but I think just the level of softball at a young age, just with the coaching and the opportunities that were there, I don't think I would have had that quality of training. And I think just a lot of the foundation of the sport, I mean, baseball and softball are very similar. When it gets down to some rules and just actually how it's pitched, but the swing itself and the fundamentals of fielding, it's very similar. So I think I just honestly was the best thing because it gave me that quality training and quality coaching that I might have not received on the softball side of things. So I think just at a young age when you're learning the fundamentals and you're really breaking it down, it was super important. And I think, it helped me a lot.
Yeah. So throughout your years, when you were growing up and going towards high school, did you experience like different positions? Did you get to play different positions like pitcher, obviously infielder, outfielder? Did you get to experience all that going through high school, growing up from age 5 to high school?
Yeah, on the baseball side of things, I played shortstop, and then I pitched a bit. So switching over to softball, that was a little different for me.
Yeah.
I definitely can't pitch for softball, and that's just something that I probably never will be able to do unless I really, really try at it. But then, yeah, I mean, in high school was on the softball side of things. I was a catcher, and I played shortstop most of the time. I kind of was just that extra catcher. But moving forward into college, I got recruited as a catcher, but once I was down there, I only caught for 1 year, and then I was at third base for 2 years, and then shortstop for my final year. So I think I've really played all over the place. I think it's an extremely important quality to have as a softball player, being versatile, kind of being athletic, and being able to play whatever position they can put you into. And I think you have a lot more to offer as a player than being limited to just a few positions. So.
Yeah, so here's another thing that our fans should know about Emma Entzminger. So while you were a kid, while you were growing up, you also watched Team Canada growing up, right? And you watched them play in the Canada Cup, and which is ironic. You got to play with them, obviously. So what was it like watching them play, and then eventually finally playing with them too?
Yeah, the Canada Cup's a pretty big tournament just here in Canada. You have the travel ball teams from young age kind of up into high school, and then you also have the international side of the tournament. So I think that makes it really special. Being pretty close to my hometown and always participating in that tournament, I just remember being in the stands and watching Team Canada play and kind of rooting for them, and just seeing those girls out there and wanting to be that. So I think it's pretty special. And then fast forward, having the opportunity to now kind of live that out on the field and have those girls up in the stands dreaming of that is pretty special and inspiring to just inspire the next generation and kind of have that full circle moment, and it keeps passing on. So yeah, I mean, I think it's cool having that dream and being able to see it and watch it and then kind of soak that all up, and then being able to actually fulfill the dream and go out there and represent, and with, friends and family, and just the country and province behind you.
Yeah. So the one, speaking of Canada softball, one player I used to keep an eye on is obviously, I'm sure you know her, Danielle Lloyd. She played for Team Canada. So what do you ever get advice from her? Did you ever interact with her before, Danielle Lloyd?
Well, she was on our national team this last go around at the Olympics. So I mean, playing behind her, she's phenomenal, phenomenal pitcher. She just goes out there and competes, and I love that. I want her on the mound, and I want to play behind her, and she's a fighter, and she's gonna go to war with you. And I think she's done a lot in her career, and amazing athlete, but also an amazing human and amazing teammate. And we have a really good relationship, and something that I cherish. But yeah, it's all my teammates, and it's been incredible to play with them. Just, they all have a past of places they've been, and they all offer something different, and just sharing knowledge. As she's an older one, and I'm one of the younger players. So yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah. So what did you learn in high school, especially as a senior, when all the scholarships are coming in for you guys, and it's a big important choice for you? So what did you learn to become a better player and a senior in high school before getting those scholarships coming?
Well, in high school, I kind of got a bit, I think it's a little different just being in Canada, and the quality of maybe just the level. It's competitive for sure, but I think we try to travel across the border to the US to just get more exposure as athletes, but also just more challenges, and just faced with more pressure situations and games. I think during high school, I played with the junior national team in 2013. So that definitely gave me a taste of the next level. I think the international level is just different. So that helped with just what I needed to do. And yeah, just stepping up your game and focusing on things. And I think in high school, there's a lot of kids you go to school with, and your dreams are just a little different. So I think you had to make a lot of sacrifices to what I wanted to do, and that was to go away and get a scholarship. And So that might have meant sacrificing time with friends to train extra or whatever that looked like. But that was the dream I had. And I think you just had to put your priorities first. And I think that was a big thing for me, just to get to that next level.
Yeah, so tell our fans about your recruiting process. Obviously, how many offers did you get? And obviously, you went to San Jose State University. So what was that like? And what made you choose that college?
Yeah, I in high school I went to high school with a softball baseball academy, so that kind of helped with the prep. That was, for the 4 years, that was my just basically extra softball all day, every day, between classes, but then also having that extra just training. And so I got a lot of connections through the coach there that has connections in the US and to a bunch of schools, some lower level schools that kind of had my name out there. Went on a couple of visits. I went to a visit in Indiana, and that was definitely a different experience than going on a visit in California. I think not that school would have been great. I just think I went to San Jose State, got on campus, met the team, met the coaches, and I just knew it was the fit for me. Just the program, the coaching staff, the girls, like it felt like home, and it felt like the values they value were in line with what I value. And I thought that was super important. It's definitely all about, softball side of things for sure, and being competitive. They were a top 50 team, and we were a top 50 team at the time. But I think it's also about just that whole experience, because, you are spending 4 years down there. And as much as I'd love to play softball forever, the education side of things and experience side of things are super important. So I kind of knew that it was just like, I just felt right. And a lot of people talk about that, just having that feeling. And I think the relationship I had with my coach was super important. And I no regrets on that decision. And it was definitely an amazing experience.
Yeah. So for you, was it like an easy transition coming to the US, or how long did it take for you to adjust to that?
It's different. I think just coming from high school into university and then living on your own, away from family. I'm a pretty independent person, so I feel like, of course I got homesick a couple times, but I feel like for the most part, it was good. It was nice to kind of get away and chase my dreams. It's close enough for my family. It was a couple, a quick flight over, just being on the West Coast where I grew up to being in California. So that was nice. They were able to come and see a lot of games. But I think just being in the academy in high school and just the college prep of that really got me ready for what it was going to be like. It was just reality and time management and sacrifice in between school and softball and all the things you're juggling. I think it really prepared me for it. And it was a step up, but I don't think it was anything where I was really, really struggling with it and was able to kind of manage everything.
Yeah. So speaking of having other options, what's it like for an athlete, especially before going to colleges or going to the next level? What's it like to have, like, for example, people can go to junior college before going to college, and what's it like to have the other option as an athlete to become a better player and learn different things before going to the next level?
Yeah, I think, I talk to kids about this all the time. Like, it has to be the right fit for you. And a lot of people go away to a school because maybe that's what everybody else wants them to do. And I've seen a lot of people come home because of that. And it's kind of someone else's dream instead of their own. I think some people are ready to go straight to like D1, but others just aren't there. And I think everybody wants to go D1, and I get that, but I'm helping out with training with high school girls right now, and like some of them just aren't ready. Like, and I think there's nothing wrong with going the junior college route. I think for people that just need to mature a couple years, they go there, they play, they get all these games in, and it's super popular and common now for coaches to take transfers. Like, that's like the new thing. I feel like majority of coaches are taking transfers out of the portal, and so I don't think it's just because the offers there to go D1 right away. I don't always think that's the best for girls. And I know for just like Canadians nowadays, I think they're just a little behind. And it's not a bad thing. They just need more experience, and they need more games behind them, and just that higher level in the US. So I've encouraged a lot of them to go the junior college route, and a lot of opportunities open up from there. But it's not all about going the highest or the biggest, because if that's not right for you, usually it doesn't turn out the way you want it to be.
Yeah. So tell our fans about your college career. You obviously spent 4 years there at San Jose State University. You had a great college career, man. You were ranked third all time in run score and walks and on base percentage. So just explain your college career, and what was that atmosphere like playing in front of those fans?
Yeah, it was definitely a step up for me. I hadn't really played in front of that many fans before, just with going from travel ball. It would be just really parents there at a travel ball field. So even just having a stadium and doing that, I think we were super competitive. I was able to start from my freshman year on, and I didn't really know like going into there, like what that was going to look like, just with it being a competitive program and a competitive roster. But things worked out in my favor, and I kind of just put my head down and kept working, and it opened up opportunities. But yeah, in 2017, we won the Mountain West Conference and were able to go to postseason. So that was pretty cool, going to UCLA. We played Cal State Fullerton and got our first win in school history in postseason. So that was also special. But yeah, just getting that ring, doing that with that group of girls, and getting your education throughout that was awesome. And like I said, I have no complaints on that. I have definitely got to travel some cool places, and just made lifelong friends. And I think it's been a big stepping stone to my career now. And I think this journey, just as a softball player, there's so many little things that have made a huge impact in who I am today as a person and athlete. And I think that's been a big impact just through coaches, girls I've played with, and just experiences I've gone through. It's really helped me become the athlete I am. So.
Yeah, so obviously you had a 287 batting average too throughout your college career, and obviously ranked all time. And are you the type of player that you care about the number of stats, or what was it like when once you heard that you were ranked all time, third all time there?
Yeah, I don't really like looking into the stats so much, just because it's kind of, when it's turned the wrong way or just got in my head. I'm definitely like a singles doubles hitter.
Yeah.
Any way I can get on, that's always what I've been. I'm trying to kind of get out of that, and just with training and producing more power and all of the things behind that. But I got hit by a lot of pitches actually as well. And that's just something I've always done. But at that point, if I get on, and then that creates opportunities, I'm fast, so I'm able to steal. So if I get on, then I can steal second, and that opens up all the opportunities just for other players to score me, or whatever that looks like. But yeah, I try not to get consumed in the numbers. The numbers are great, but if our team wins, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. So for you, what was it like living the California dream, the Hollywood lifestyle, and the hot weather all the time, all year round? What was that like for you?
Different, very different from being back home in Canada. Where I'm from, it rains constantly. We don't get a whole lot of snow, but it's just rain. No complaints. It was beautiful. Campus was beautiful. 45 minutes from the beach, having a car down there to be able to kind of do all the fun things. Kind of a dream for sure. I didn't expect that to happen, but it did. And I don't think I would have wanted to go anywhere else, just with living in such a beautiful place. So yeah, definitely no complaints. Very different from where I come from, but super cool.
Yeah, so there's an interesting story here back in 2017. Tell our fans about this, because interesting. Obviously you never, obviously you didn't quit from this. You kept going, and you got cut from the national team in the 17. And what did you learn from that? And obviously it motivated you to become the better player that you are right now. So what did you learn from that year, and then moving forward?
Yeah, this is a big part of me now. basically go back to 2017. One of the girls who played third base retired the year before. It was my junior year of college. Tryouts of 2017 were kind of in June. Came to tryouts knowing that I had that opportunity to take that spot or earn that spot. I was an alternate in 2016, so it would have been my first kind of full position on the team. Went through camp, did everything. Cuts were at the end of camp. Come into a room with my coaches, and my coach kind of just gave it to me. He said, you came to camp unprepared, out of shape, overweight, and you kind of took it for granted, and you had the opportunity to earn that spot, and you didn't do what you needed to do. And it was a really tough conversation. I was in big time denial. I didn't agree with anything he was saying. I felt like I did everything I could. I felt like that's not who I am. I felt like I was kind of like, my passion for it was put on like question a little bit on, my integrity on this team and just training and whatnot. And it was tough. And I had, left there. I went home that summer. I wasn't with the team, and I stepped away from the sport a bit, and I had a lot of self-reflection I needed to do. So I had to kind of take a look at myself in the mirror and think about what he said. And he was right. I was my junior, like I said, my junior year of college, and I was during the season, and I was kind of just playing and training and doing everything that I needed to for season. But I wasn't doing what I needed to be in the best shape for the national team. And college was what I was doing at that moment, but the far goal was being with the national team. And I had a choice to make. I either kind of gave it in there, and that was my time with the national team, or I really wanted to prove him wrong. And that was the decision I wanted to make. And I wanted to prove it to myself, but also to my teammates that deserve that. And to just prove him wrong that that's not who I am. So I went back senior year, and I put in the work I needed to do. Got with my strength and conditioning coach, got with my nutritionist, just putting the extra work in the cage and on the field. Lost about 20 pounds and kind of got in the best shape I possibly could. And fast forward to 2018, and I was able to show up to camp prepared and did everything I needed to, and ended up making the team for that year. And honestly, like, it was a really tough experience, and it was a challenge, and going through it in the moment sucked. But looking back on it, it was probably the best thing that could have happened for me. It kind of lit the fire underneath my butt, and that will definitely not happen ever again. And I will never take things for granted. Not that I thought I took it for granted, but more reflection on it. That's what happened. And yeah, best thing that could have happened. And I really appreciate him having that conversation with me, because it's not easy as an athlete and as a coach, and just having those tough conversations, but it was for the better.
Well, Emma, you definitely did prove him wrong, and you're showing it right now. It's amazing. Your story it's such an inspiration. Everybody needs to know more about you, and that story you just said, that should motivate other kids right now, not to give up. So kudos to you, and really proud of you for that. And you definitely did prove him wrong. So, so in 2019, but you got to participate in the Pan American Games. So what was that like for you? What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, so 2018 was my first kind of time on the team, and I wasn't a starter, didn't see the field a whole lot, got some opportunities, like we were at World Championships, kind of had at bat here or there, played a couple innings, and then fast forward to 2019, same thing. I started off the summer like really not playing a whole lot, but slowly got more and more opportunities, and those opportunities became more and more, and I ended up at the point of just earning a starting spot on the field. So by 2019 Pan American Games, I was a starter, which was pretty cool. That was my first experience being in a big tournament as a starter and playing that much. So I think that was really cool. I ended up performing really well, and I hit well and I fielded well, and we ended up getting silver. The team did awesome. We ended up beating the US in the game, which was great, but then losing to them in the final, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that was, like I said, the first tournament that I really got a taste of it, and just really just pushing and pushing and hoping for more opportunities. And that's just how it works. You just got to keep kind of waiting. And, you know, my time was going to come and I was able to get to that point. So that was a pretty big turning point, because that's when I really started to be a starter and get more consistent time on the field.
And after that, a few weeks later, you competed in another one, WBSC, SC America's Olympic Qualifier, and you posted a over 400 batting average. And what was that like, just winning that silver medal in the weeks after competing in another qualifier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Pan American Games were for sure important, but I think our long-term goal was the qualifier, just because that's what we were really going for. We needed to earn that spot for the Olympics. But yeah, that was on home soil. That was at the same field that the Canada Cups played on. So that was a special experience, just with all my friends and family, all the Canadian fans, all the little athletes out there watching us, cheering us on. Big time stage. That was a lot of fans for me. You know, in college, I definitely played in front of fans, but just a little bit different. But that was special just because that was our time to qualify, and we were able to do that and earn that bid in front of all our hometown and our home crowd, and being able to do that for Canada was super special. And that was just another stepping stone in our path to the Olympics. But it was extremely important because we were expected to qualify and we had to do it, and there were the pressures of that. And so big part of the journey, because we wouldn't have been at the Olympics if that didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. So
yeah, that's amazing. And obviously you guys were off after 2019. Obviously you guys were getting ready for the Olympics in Tokyo, but unfortunately they canceled that the 2020 Olympics because of COVID. So how hard was it for you guys learning the news when they canceled that year, when you guys were training hard, getting ready for that, and you had to wait for another 4 years, sorry. So what was that like, training hard and waiting and hearing the news that they canceled it because of COVID?
We were in Halifax in Canada on the East Coast for about 2 months training together. That was kind of the beginning of our Olympic training centralization. And we were going to break for about a week before going to Fresno, California to train. And we went home, and kind of the moment we got home, it was like, okay, the world's shutting down and everything's going kind of sideways. So that was tough. So we were kind of had this waiting game for a bit, like what's happening, kept pushing it off 2 weeks. Okay, we'll see each other soon. We'll see each other soon, to the point they ended up postponing the Olympics. And I think definitely tough, just because we had been waiting. I mean, 2008 was the last time the Olympics were in. And to hear that they were postponed with just not knowing if it was ever going to happen was tough. But I think the time off and the extra year was probably the best thing that could have happened for our team. I think we all individually did a lot of self-reflection, a self-growth, and just growing into better humans, and just figuring out what's best for us, what we need, what fills our cup, all of those types of things. And as a collective unit, I think it was what was best. And we got that extra year of training. Not that I'm saying we wouldn't have been ready if we did it in 2020. I just think we were even more ready, even more prepared to go out there and compete. So it was tough, and it was a lot of time on your own, and kind of figuring out, how do I get training in with gyms shut down, and how do I get out on the field if facilities are closed, and all of that kind of thing. But I think that was part of the journey, and it's what made it so special. All those ups and downs and challenges, but looking back on it, it made it worth it. And I think, like I said, it was the best thing that could have happened for our team, even though you wouldn't want to wish that upon anyone or the world, but it was a positive for us, for sure.
Yeah, so before we go any further, I just want to talk about Canada itself, because it's a really nice country to visit. People need to go visit there, and I've been there before a long time back, and an amazing place. And for you, what's it like representing that country? And obviously you got, not only that, you got the Toronto Raptors, who won a championship, Montreal Canadiens, Toronto Maple Leafs, Toronto Blue Jays. I can go down the list. So many great franchises there. So what do you like about the city of Canada, and what should people know more about that place? And especially players need to go visit that place and maybe potentially signed with those teams. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a beautiful country in general. I live on the West Coast, and I always joke that the West Coast is better than the East Coast of Canada. But just like, I mean, being in BC and Alberta, you got mountains and ocean, and it's beautiful in itself. I think there's just a lot of nature, and I think that's, you know, I know being from BC, like the majority of it is just forest and so many places to explore, and I love that, and just being outdoors all the time. And I mean, I live on Vancouver Island, so I live on an island and surrounded by water and trees and nature, and really can't complain about living there. I mean, Canada in itself, just representing Canada is such an honor. Just what we stand for, just everything about it. Something that I've, like I said, I've dreamt of doing for a long time, and kind of living those dreams out now. Being able to just represent Canada with my best friends, and having the maple leaf across your chest and Canada across your chest, and being able to stand out on the field before a game and sing "Oh Canada" with my arms around my teammates. Like, those are the moments that are super special. And you know, winning this bronze medal in Tokyo was really special, but we made history for Canada, and the first medal in softball ever. And I think that was special, and being able to bring that back to show other little girls, like, that's what it's all about. And, you know, it's for the other Canadians, and the medal itself is more to share with others and inspire others. It's more the experiences that made it so worth it. And just, yeah, representing Canada, it's such an honor, and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm hoping that I can continue to do that for some time to come.
Yeah, I also forgot the Vancouver Canucks too. I gotta put them in there.
Yeah.
So now, fast forwarding now to the Tokyo Olympics. Obviously, when you guys got the news that you were able to go travel there, unfortunately with no fans, and it was how tough was it for you when they said no fans allowed? But you got to still go there, experience it. And what was it like to travel for you and for you and your teammates? And also the opening ceremony was amazing on TV. So what was that like for you?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together in the US prior to going to Japan. We were centralized from about January really up until the Olympics. So just being together, training, living that out. And then we went to Japan about 10 days early, did a little pre-Olympic training camp in a small city, kind of got the taste a bit, played some pro teams down there. And then we're in Japan. I think for most of our families, it was tough because they weren't allowed to travel and come to the games, and a lot of disappointment. But I think for us as athletes, we were just happy the games were even going on. It was about a week before the games started that they announced no Japanese fans, because for a while we thought full stadium, then we thought, okay, limited capacity, so we'd still have fans. And then we go to a complete no fans, which was definitely weird because we were preparing for like the stadium of 30,000 fans to none. But I think it made it special. I mean, pressure wise, you see the cameras on you and you know people are watching, but you don't really know how many people are watching. And just like, I didn't expect to be able to hear my teammate across the field because it would have been so loud, where I actually could communicate and do those things. So it was different, but I don't think it affected us. I think, you know, it's just another game. But yeah, we didn't get to go to opening ceremonies because we played at 10 a.m. the next morning. And I think we had to be up at like 6 a.m. It just wasn't worth it. And we were there to medal. We were there to win. And yes, opening ceremonies would have been nice. And a lot of athletes go because, you know, it's maybe 4 days before their events start and whatnot. But we started before 2 days before the Olympics actually opened, and they did the opening ceremonies. So just the sacrifices of that. And unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to get out of there within 24 hours. So we didn't even get to experience closing ceremonies. So that kind of sucked, where normally you would not go to opening and then you'd go to closing after you're kind of done your competition. So that was tough. But I think once again, everything about the Olympics was different. But just being able to compete and get there and go there. And I know majority, 80% of Japan didn't want the Olympics. So the fact that it even happened and we were able to do that, I can't really complain. It was different, but for me, it was my first. So I don't really have much to compare it to. But yeah, definitely cool experience, and just everything about it was just amazing.
So basically, when you guys just arrived, you just went to the rooms and sleep. That's it, and then woke up.
Yeah, we couldn't do a whole lot. Once you're on the village, there you could walk around a bit, but obviously you're limited. You know, masked up, COVID testing all the time, kind of all things. But we made do with what we had, and it was still a great experience.
Yeah, so I'm just curious because obviously the time difference is huge. And what was it? How long did it take you guys to adjust? Because obviously you had a game the next day. So when you guys woke up, and how do you guys feel going into that game? And obviously the time difference for you.
We were there early, which helped. Like we were there the 10 days early, so
Okay.
that was kind of part of it. Before we left the U.S. to go to Japan, kind of just tried to change our clocks a bit, stay up later, sleeping longer, just to get on Japan time is kind of what they suggest to do. So we had some time there where we were just practicing a couple off days once we landed, just get up, try to get on the clock as much as you can, even though your time change is all weird. But by the time the game started, we were ready to go. We weren't jet lagged or anything. We had enough time prior to that to be ready to go.
Yeah, so obviously take us to the tournament. Tell our friends about the tournament. I mean, the Olympics experience, and obviously you guys went far too. You were just close to the gold medal game, but you guys won bronze, obviously. But just take us through the step-by-step process that got you to the bronze medal.
Yeah, you have 6 teams there, so you're going to play everybody once. The schedule had been out for a while. I mean, a lot of preparation into all of that. The whole off season of the pitchers we thought we were going to face, and facing them in batting practice, and facing them in all the different pressure situations that we can be in, and knowing, defensive shifts of how we were going to play them, how we're going to pitch them. Just so much preparation into that, like just nonstop film, all of the things. To then, you go out there and you have one chance to do it, and you've prepared for so long. I think, we played everybody once. We played Mexico, beat Mexico, basically beat everybody we needed to, except a couple losses. And we played the US, and that was tough, lost by 1 on a tough play and a tough situation, and it's just one of those things, like you wish you could have done something different, one extra hit, one extra play to change it. And I think we ended up playing Japan, and we lost to Japan in extras, which was also just a heartbreaker. I think losing to the US was that first loss, and it was like, okay, like, all right, we got to move on to the next. Now we need to continue to win. Like we knew we needed to win, and we couldn't kind of think about the US game anymore. So we knew we had to beat Australia. We knew we had to beat Japan. We knew we had to beat Italy. And the Japan game was a heartbreaker for sure, just because that put us out of the gold medal game. And we lost in extras, and it just sucked because we were that close. And I don't think we've ever been that close to those teams. And I think that was pretty cool to see, and just the level that our team's at. And, it's always Japan and the US at the top, but we were right there. And, like I said, an extra hit or, an extra, whatever that is, can change it. And I think that was tough. We were devastated because in our mind, we were going for gold. Like we weren't going for anything less. And that made things really tough. But after the Japan game, we had to kind of shift gears, and we still had an opportunity to win a medal, and we couldn't really think about what we didn't do, and we had to think about what we needed to, and we had to take care of business, beat Italy in order to even get into the bronze medal game. And so we beat Italy, and then we played Mexico again. And I think part of it in the bronze medal game, in the 2008 Olympics, we had 4 of our girls play in that, and they lost in the bronze medal game to Australia. So for them, it was definitely some revenge. And for us playing Mexico in the bronze medal game, they beat us in the Olympic qualifier for the first bid of the Americas. And then we ended up kind of coming the back way and getting that bid as well. But yeah, we had to beat them, and they're a good team. Like everybody there was good, and we had to take care of business. And I think we came together as a collective unit and won that medal. And I think that was super special, being able to do that with that group of girls and celebrate, and something that you've worked so long for and so hard for, just all coming together. And maybe it wasn't the color that we ideally wanted, but we still got that. And we made history for Canada and made history for softball in Canada, and winning softball's first Olympic medal. And that was super special, and just kind of paving that path for the next generation and of like our standard. And I think it's tough to see that. And, you know, they took it out in 08 because it was dominated by the US and Japan, and it wasn't super, you know, equal, and they take it out and we get it back for 2020. And you just see how competitive it is. Like the 6 teams that were there, you know, it's a few runs difference in most games, and that shows a lot just how much our sport is growing and how competitive it really is. So it sucks that it's not in 2024. I think that's a heartbreaker, just because there's so much momentum and we proved. So hopefully get back for 2028 and we can keep it there and have it there for good, because it deserves to be there. And I think we proved that it deserves to be there. So we've done our part, and it's just a matter of continuing to grow the game and showing people how great the game is and how competitive it is.
Hey, yeah, we paid close attention to these Olympics, and obviously everybody had talent there. But you guys, something with Team Canada, you guys had a great pitching staff, obviously great hitters, and including yourself. And you guys have a lot of talent to go from this Olympics, like you just said, to the 2028. So you already decided that you're going to go be part of the 2028 Olympics, or it's too early to tell?
I hope so. That's like 7 years away, but I would like to. I feel like I've just kind of got into, you know, I've only started for a couple of years now. I'm kind of in my prime. I mean, that's a long time. I don't know what's going to happen from then, but I'm still playing, and I still want to represent Canada and be a part of the program. And yeah, I'm definitely going to play as long as I can. So we'll see what happens, but that would be the goal, to get there and be one of the vets on the team and be a part of that, and continue to kind of pass the torch along and like I said, grow the game and grow the program, and just continue to, you know, inspire the next generation to want to achieve those goals and bring people up and continue to grow the sport. And just, yeah. So.
Yeah. So while you guys were there at the Olympics, did you guys have time to watch any other sporting events, say like basketball, swimming, or were you guys just focus on your own thing?
Not really. We had TVs in our apartment, so you could flip on different sports, but we didn't spend there was just a lot of time where we were just doing things, whether that was film, recovery stuff, eating, practice, like just not a whole lot of time. It would have been nice to be able to stay like a normal Olympics. You can stay and watch other sports and do all of those things. But because of COVID and the way it was, we weren't able to do that. But I was able to come home, 24 hours after we finished, and was able to at least watch things on TV and kind of support that way.
Yeah. So now, obviously, what's it like now helping obviously you help young kids now, and what's it like helping them and trying to help them get to their goals? And so what's that been like for you now?
Very humbling, and just, you know, I think I was once one of them, and that makes it really special. I think I've had female mentors growing up, and just people to push me and challenge me. And I want to be that for others. I think I have this platform that I've been given, and just now being an Olympian and just having this medal behind my name and just being able to impact others is super special to me. And that's what, like I said, it's all about. The medal's great, and it's nice to have this actual item, but it's all about that whole experience and that whole journey. And the journey wasn't just the games that we played. There many years, 4 years of, you know, they announced it was back in 2016, and 4 years of like, okay, what's happening? So being able to just show that medal to, you know, I give it to a little girl and she holds it in her hand and her eyes sparkle, and it just sparks something for them. Or I can say one little thing to somebody and that motivates them or pushes them to want to continue the sport for another year. I think the mentoring piece is really important to me. Yes, softball is amazing and I love softball, but I just want to have that mentorship of whatever their dreams are, to chase them and just motivate them, and that, you know, the sky's the limit and they can really do anything they want to, whether that is to play softball and go away, or they want to play another sport, or they want to become a doctor, whatever that looks like for them. Just having that person that they can look up to, or, you know, like going through those challenges, like that's part of it. And, you know, going through the tough times, like that's what makes you grow, and that what makes you stronger, and you get better. And, you know, being uncomfortable and being in pressure situations and just doing all of those things, like that's what makes you you, and, you know, you grow as a human and as an athlete, or whatever that is that you're aspiring to be. So it's been really rewarding, and I'm really excited to continue to do it. And I've done a lot already, but just continuing to, you know, pave the path. I think within Softball Canada, there's so many athletes that have come before myself and many of us that maybe didn't get to play in an Olympics, but they've paved that path to open up opportunities for us. So, you know, it's my duty to continue to pave that path for the next generation moving forward, and to continue to grow the game and the sport, and just females in sport and how powerful that is. And yeah, it's super rewarding, and it's been amazing, and I'm excited to just continue to do it in whatever way I can.
Yeah, so speaking of women in sports, I have a team of 8 people that help me out with the show, and 4 of them are females. So I'm giving every opportunity to females to start their journey in sports. And what do you like about the growth of women in sports? Obviously, you have Jenny Finch, if you want to talk softball, Danielle Lloyd, your teammate. You can go down Becky Hammond, who coaches the NBA now as assistant coach. Sarah Thomas, first female ref in the Super Bowl, and then you got Sarah Fuller, first female kicker in college football. So what do you like about the growth in women in sports?
Yeah, I mean, women are just continuing to show how awesome they are and how powerful they are, and like just really how incredible they are. I think more and more opportunities are happening. It sucks because it's still not equal, and it's a battle that will always be kind of facing, which is tough. But I think, you know, one person's just putting us in the next like putting us up and moving us in the right direction. So I think people are making huge impacts, and opportunities are coming, and there's so many firsts of these opportunities, which is really cool. But it'd be nice to see, you know, a second and a third, and now we're not talking about the first referee or the first that, it's just it being a norm. So I think just breaking stereotypes and continuing to push, and I think big or small, everybody can make an impact, and it can be a little thing, but that opens up an opportunity for someone else moving forward. So I like the direction we're going in, and it's getting better and growing. There's definitely still a lot of room to grow, but opportunities are opening up, and just with programs and so many successful women and just incredible women. I want to be a part of that and making some sort of impact in whatever way I can. And I think a lot of people feel the same way, and it might not utilize me in my career, or benefit me in my career, but it might benefit someone else in theirs. And that's kind of the best part about it.
So now we do this fun little segment on the show. It's called the rapid fire segment. So you ready for this?
I don't know.
Do you have a nickname? Do people call you by a nickname?
They call me Irma sometimes.
Favorite food?
Blueberries.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. Favorite food that you ordered in Tokyo?
Ordered in Tokyo. They had some really good gyozas, like pot stickers.
So what do you like to do outside of playing softball?
Hiking, going to the beach, hanging out with my nieces and nephews. Anything outside in nature, really.
Favorite. All right. What would you say your most memorable game was as a softball player?
Probably the bronze medal game for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite workout?
Like specific workout?
Yeah.
I love some good back squats. I don't know. We do so many things.
So obviously, I'm gonna ask you this. I usually ask this sometimes. Kawhi Leonard's laugh or Kevin Hart's laugh?
Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Favorite music?
Country.
What was your guys pre? Do you guys have like a pregame music before the games in Tokyo or no?
Yeah, but it was just like a random mix. Really, everybody just kind of put their songs in, and it was just
Funniest teammate that you play with right now?
Larissa Franklin.
All right. Let's see. Who's more competitive, you or Danielle?
Probably Danielle. I'd like to say me, but probably Danielle.
So what have you been focusing on now just to get ready for your next opportunity?
Well, we've kind of been on like just an off period, but we're going to be starting back up here in November. I'm going to have a training camp in January, and our next competition is the World Games in Alabama in July. So that's kind of the next competition that we have. But yeah, just getting back into, I've been doing lots of strength and conditioning wise, but just getting back into the swing of things with softball and softball shape.
Funniest moment?
Funniest moment?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah.
I don't know. Funniest moment. I don't know. This is such a tough question. Can we skip this question?
Yeah, let's skip the question.
Okay.
Favorite movie?
Sandlot.
Yeah, there you go. That's the classic. So obviously you got a favorite quote here. So what does that mean to you? It says, "What got you here won't get you there."
I think that you're always growing and changing, and really goes back to not settling. What you did to get to this situation might have been really good and got you where you want to be, but I think people are always coming up behind you and chasing you. So I think you've got to make adjustments, you've got to make changes and do something different to get better and up your game that's, one step higher than someone else.
So if the right opportunity comes out, if the right opportunity comes for you, would you consider being like a coach at some point down the line?
Yeah, I'm actually, yes, I'm looking into college coaching a bit, but I'm also doing a firefighting program right now. Nice. So, yeah, that's in the works as well, but something that I'm really motivated and passionate about. But while I'm still playing, I can't necessarily do that, but I'm doing the schooling and the program I need now to have it, and then hopefully be able to use that later on. But while I'm still playing, I would like to do some higher level coaching and kind of getting into that. So. All
right, tell our fans what's the scouting report on Emma Entzminger.
The scouting report? I don't want to tell them that. If I can't give away my secret.
Let me rephrase that. What do you bring to the game?
Speed for sure. I like to say pretty good energy. I'm a pretty talkative person out on the infield, and I like to keep things light, and I feel like I'm pretty scrappy. Like I said, I'll take anything. If I can get hit by a pitch to get onto the field, then that's, take a base and I'll get that. So yeah, that's probably my couple things.
Have you been watching this year's baseball playoffs?
I have, here and there, not like consistently, but yes, I have been. The games are so long, it's so boring. Just kidding. No, I have been watching the games. They've been pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a Yankee fan, so I want the Braves to win the World Series.
Oh yeah, of course. Classic.
So the last few things here before I let you go, our team is part of this foundation. It's called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. We're trying to help and prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe, the kids stay safe. So we'll send you the foundation so you can go check it out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, and the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and all the essential workers right now?
Yeah, just thank you for your time. Thank you for your continuous support and your efforts. It doesn't go unnoticed. And yeah, things are clearing up, but they're still working really, really hard, many hours. And without them, we'd be really lost. So, I have a lot of my family that are super close and making huge impact. But yeah, we can't do it without you, and we appreciate all your support, and it definitely doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, well said. There it is. That wraps up episode 924 with talented softball player Emma Entzminger from Canada. She was recently in the Tokyo Olympics here. Go check her out. Go follow on all social media formats. She has 2 silver medals, 2 bronze medals in her career. She does it all. Amazing college career too in San Jose State University. Now she's doing big things, helping out kids now, and waiting for her next opportunity to play the game of softball. But go check her out again. Go follow her. Emma, it was truly an honor to have you on the show today. You're such an inspiration, and your story is amazing. Everybody, like I said earlier, everybody needs to know more about you. We would like to have you back on the show at some point down the line so you can meet the full team. But keep up the great work. I'm hoping you get your next opportunity pretty soon. And if you do, keep up that great work, and we'll be following your career throughout. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime.